So what happens to your smart home when you incorporate smart light strips with smart lights and smart door sensors as well as motion sensors? Well, in today's video, I'm going to show you how I'm going to use these products to fully automate different areas of my home. Thanks so much to Aqara for sponsoring today's video. Let's get started. First here we have the Aqara LED T1 Lightstrip, and then you also have a 1 meter extension that you can add to those. So one of the sensors we're going to be using is the Aqara door and window sensor. So this has a 2-year battery life. You're able to put this on a door and it can open and automatically turn on lights. And then here we have the Aqara Motion Sensor P1. This has a 5-year battery life. So I'm going to be able to make it so that when somebody walks into the bathroom here, it's automatically going to be able to turn on the T1 lights and many other automations today. So the first step is to get everything installed. Now I've already done the hardest part, which is to get power to the locations I want. So here we're going to put one under the cabinet in the bathroom, and I already put power under the cabinet so that I can then easily run the T1. So for the light strip here, I have the T1 power supply. Then I have a little controller box right here, but then I will need to plug in the LED strip through here. Now at the end of the LED strip here, I have a little extension cable, so I'll just need to put a hole in the bottom of my bathroom cabinet here to feed this through so that then I can put the rest of the LED strip here on the bottom of the cabinet. So let's go ahead, put in that hole. And after taking out a little more than I should, let's see if it will go through. And success. All right, now it's time to put the LED strip down on the bottom. Now that we have the cables all squared away, it's time to put the LED strip on. Now there is a 3M adhesive on the back. The best thing to do is to clean the surface, and then if it does fall off, I could use hot glue or something to stick it back on, but let's go ahead and put it under the cabinet. Now I've heard that putting a track underneath your cabinets is going to show all the dirt. So let's see what's the better way to mount it. If we mount it right here on the front, I don't see too much. If we mount it this way, yeah, that actually shows a lot more dust and stuff. I might do it here as that isn't as bright. I'm now going to remove the adhesive and press up on all parts of the light strip, holding it down for a little bit of time and going all the way to the end. Now I could have used an extension here to kind of extend it from the very edge of the cabinet, but I decided to keep it equally spaced on each side so it had this cool glow look to it. I think that turned out pretty well. It's now time to install the sensor. I'm going to be placing it somewhere up here so that whenever we walk through this door, it detects us and it is able to turn on the T1. And here we have the Aqara Motion Sensor P1. Now this is pretty awesome because it has a 5-year battery life, built-in light sensor, configurable detection timeout, and up to 170 degrees field of view. So this is going to work perfect here in the bathroom. And in here we also have a mount as well as some adhesive. And here we have the Motion Sensor P1. That is pretty small. So let's get it set up in the app. So here I'm going to add an accessory, sensor, and we're going to choose Motion Sensor P1. We do need to attach it to an Aqara hub with Zigbee 3.0. And then here I'm going to remove the battery pole. And then I'm going to press the button for 5 seconds. And there it is flashing, and now it has been found in the Aqara app. We're going to name this bathroom sensor. Here we're going to put it in the bathroom. So there it has the sensor, and then it has an illuminance sensor. So we're going to be able to do some really great automations with that. So here we can see motion has been detected, and we have 343 lux in the room. So here we have detection interval where we can set. We can do 10 seconds, 30 seconds, even up to 3 minutes. Let's go ahead and set 10 seconds. So what's going to happen is if it detects me, 10 seconds later, it will reset to non-detection. Now that we have it set up, let's get it installed. And I think right above the door is going to be a great location for that. And here I'm just going to stick it above the center of the door, kind of out of the way. But here it should be able to detect whenever we walk through the door or open the door. Now this mount allows it to go up, or you can turn it side to side to get the best motion detection angle that you are looking for. Now that everything is set up in the Aqara app, let's head to the automation tab to start our different automations. So here, if you've never created an automation before, when you tap the plus, you'll get two options. You'll get an if and then. So the if will be for the door sensor and the motion sensor or another trigger. So it could be time or something else. But if the motion sensor detects something, then it's going to turn on the T1 light strip. And if the motion detector doesn't detect anything, then it's going to turn off the T1 light strip. So you will need to have two different automations to be able to do something like that. So let's get that created. So here under if at the top, you have a bunch of different types of automations that you can use, or you can choose an accessory like the motion sensor. So here we're going to choose the bathroom sensor, and here you have some different options for detection. So when motion is detected, or if motion detected after no motion for a specific period of time, or if motion is detected and brightness is above this, and if motion is detected and brightness is below, or if no motion has been detected. So we're going to go with if motion is detected. And then we're going to have it turn on the light. So we're going to go then, and we're going to go to the bathroom vanity light. We're going to turn on, and it will go to the previous T1 setting that I have set up on the light strip. So I don't have to really adjust anything else if the lights are set correctly. So then we're going to save that. And right now we can give it a name. We're just going to simplify it here. If motion vanity on. Okay, now we have that is enabled. So this is how that works. I walk in the room and boom, the T1 lights turn on. These look great. We've been using this for a few days and it's so nice. In the middle of the night, I can walk in and I don't have to turn on any lights, but it gives me enough light to see, brush my teeth, other things like that. It's been really great. But now when I leave the room, I want to have it automatically turn off. So I'm going to go ahead and create another automation where if, I'm going to choose the bathroom sensor again, and then I'm going to choose no motion has been detected. And here I can choose for a certain period of time. So you could choose hours or minutes, and depending on what room this is or where you have this located, you may want longer or shorter time. Here we just want it to be on for the shortest amount of time at 1 minute, and then it will turn off. So we're going to select save. Then if no motion for over 1 minute, now we're going to choose our then, and we're going to go to bathroom vanity, and we're going to select off. We have all kinds of other options. We could do on off, we can set brightness, set color temperature, set RGB, brightness plus, color temperature plus, turn on music sync, set static RGB. So tons of different effects, but we're just gonna go with the simple off. Tap save. Again, I'm gonna simplify this. There, if no motion, then vanity off. I now have my two automations created, so when I leave the room after 1 minute, the lights are then going to turn off. And so there, our first automation has been created. Super simple and easy to use. Now, just a quick note on the P1 sensor here, it is like perfectly aligned with the bathroom space that we have here. When we're in the main area, walking in the hall of the bathroom here, it will turn on the lights. If we leave, it will turn off the lights. If we go into the closet, it doesn't see us, it turns off the lights. So the P1 is really set up perfectly so that when we're ever in this area, it will turn on. When we leave, it will automatically turn off. And then it only triggers when we open and go in through that door. So now we can take this automation to the next level. The P1 motion sensor also has an illuminance detector in it, so it can tell how much light is in the room. So I don't want the lights to turn on when it's a nice, bright, beautiful day. I would only want it to turn on if the light in the room isn't very bright. So let's go ahead and look at what the current light is in the room. So here under bathroom illuminance, you can see that the last detected was 19 lux. So if we go in here, it's giving us a bit bigger graph. Over here, you can see that it's currently at 87 lux, and then that is about moderate lightness. You then have light and bright, where it hasn't got up there. Yesterday, it did get really bright, went up to 532 lux. But today's a pretty gloomy day, so we're seeing a lot lower numbers there. And I want to make it so that if it's gloomy or darker outside, the lights are going to turn on. If it's lighter, they're not going to turn on. So here you can see that we have 67. There you can see 50, 67. So let's go ahead and set it where if it is above 50, the lights are not going to turn on. Let's go ahead and add that to our automation. And we're going to go to the first command where it turned on. So then we can add some conditions. So here it says all conditions met or any condition met. We want all conditions met. And then here we're going to add another condition. And here we're going to go to the bathroom sensor and we're going to select motion detected and brightness is below 50. So right there, it's set at 50. So if it's below 50, then it's going to turn on and off the light, and then everything else will work. It will automatically turn after 1 minute. So now that has been added to the automation to trigger it. If it's brighter than 50 in the room, it's not going to turn on the light. So I may need to adjust that as time goes on, but that's a pretty easy way to add extra things to the automation, extra conditions to have it work exactly how you want. You could also add different times. So maybe I don't want this to run during the day or other things like that. I have all of those options here in the automations tab. And then we can add all kinds of things as well. Let's say we want it to only trigger at night. So if I go in and select add, we can also add a time where this is going to repeat every day. And then this is only going to work, after 2000 hours, then it is going to be able to turn on. So all those conditions need to be met. It needs to be after this time. It needs to have motion detected, and it needs to be under 50 lux. If we want to move the order, we can hold down and drag to move. And then if we want to delete, we can swipe over and delete and select save. And here, because this is motion detected and luminance, we don't need to have this one set up. So now we can tap save, and that is ready to go. So really cool that you have so many automations there. All right, so heading into the pantry here, there is only a light on or off. So I want to make it so there's a softer light when we come into the pantry. So I'm going to be using the Aqara LED Strip T1 here, which is 2 meters, but it can be extended up to 10 meters with the Aqara T1 extension kit. So I'm going to be using a few of these in here. These are 1 meter extensions. Let's get it installed. Here I have power over on this wall, and I'm just going to route it under the bottom here. So that is one T1 strip length, the 2 meters there. Let's now extend it further. Now let's take a look at the 1 meter extension. So here we have it wrapped up inside the box, and then it also comes with this little clip. This allows you to clip the 2 different segments together. And now we're going to lay this out. One thing I want to note is make sure you don't pull it too tight and undo them, or you'll have to undo the adhesive, which is kind of a pain. So just be careful when you are pulling them. So here I'm going to attach it, and it will show white that it's extended. We will need to go into the app to extend the colors. And now we're ready to continue on. And here we have the T1 light strip with 2 extensions. This is a nice glow in the pantry. And with a few adhesive strips here, I have managed the cable, kind of hidden it out of the way. So over here at the controller, you can easily adjust what scene it's on. So there it's bright white. There we have a more warm. Then here we have a rainbow pattern, and back to the warm white. I can turn it on and off. And then I can also turn on so it adjusts based on the noise in the room. So let's go ahead, get this automated. Now we've already set up our M2 hub, so we're just gonna head into the Aqara app and add the T1. Just gonna tap plus, add accessory, go to lighting, and there we have the LED T1 light strip. And here we're going to connect it to the hub M2. And now we're going to hold down on the power for 5 seconds. It will start breathing, and then once it's connected, it will flash rainbow. There we go. Now we're going to give the accessory a name, and we're just going to name it Pantry. We'll do LED strips, and done. So the first thing we actually need to do is make sure you adjust the length if you are using any extensions. So we're going to go into the menu here, and we're going to go to device settings and choose the strip length. So here I'm using 3 different extensions, so we're moving it to 5 meters. Then we're going to hit save. And now we can go back here and we can choose our different style of light. So here we can do rainbow, and that's going to go all the way through the room. That looks so cool. And here we have a bunch of other preset options that we can use. And then we can also go down here and choose the different white settings so that we can have a nice soft light when the lights automatically turn on once we have the automations set up. So here you can go through and select the exact configuration that you want. You again can choose the perfect color combination for your room. There's a candy cane glow, and there you can see that our custom color has been set here, and we can go through and choose the other ones. In here, we're going to automate the pantry, where the similar thing happens, where if we walk to the pantry, it's automatically going to turn on the lights. Now with this, I'm going to be using the Aqara FP2, where I have different zones set up in my home. So right at the entrance of the pantry, I have a pantry zone. So we're going to make it so if somebody enters the pantry zone, it's automatically going to turn on the pantry lights. So this will work any time of the day because it is a darker area of the home. And then when they leave, those lights will automatically turn off. So here for this automation, we're going to add if, and here we're going to choose the FP2. And here you have presence, absence, presence for some time, all of these different options here. And then here we have presence in certain zones. So we're going to choose presence in certain zones. And here we have our different zones set up. And we're going to choose the pantry. And for the then, we're then going to choose our pantry light. So let's go ahead and choose on. If presence in the pantry, then pantry on. Okay, great. Now we're going to add a second automation. And here we're going to choose if absence for some time. So if we're absent for, let's say, a minute, we can even choose seconds here, then it would automatically turn off the light. So if there's absence for 1 minute, then we're going to turn, oh, this one needs to be off. So then we're going to turn off the pantry and select save. So now the pantry has been set up. We walk in any time of the day, it's going to turn on the lights. When we leave, it will then turn off. Now I do need to adjust my FP2 zone a little bit so that it doesn't trigger as often. So here under my presence occupancy sensor, here we have our different rooms. I'm going to go to zone management and I'm going to adjust the pantry. And we're going to turn off that little area right there and save. So now whenever we enter that area, you can see right now, somebody's at the fridge. So whenever we go into the pantry, then it's going to turn on the pantry. So in the morning when I'm headed in to find a snack, here the lights automatically come on. Now it does a pretty good job of detecting me. This is the edge of the kind of detection area. So sometimes has a little struggle, but there you can see the lights turn on, illuminating the bottom and making it so that I can see everything up top without blinding me or anything like that. So that looks great. I then find the snack that I want, leave the room, and after the set time, when there is no presence detected, it will then turn off the lights. And this is great because then the kids don't even turn on the light and they don't leave any lights on either. Okay, here I am using the Aqara T2 for these two light switches. Now that we have the T2 installed, I'm going to get this all put back together, and then we're going to put the door sensor up here so that we can have these lights interact when the door is open. And so that's controlling this light, and then it's also controlling a light out in the garage. And so we're going to be installing the Aqara door and window sensor to the door so that when we open it, it's automatically able to run some different automations. So let's go ahead and get the door and window sensor installed. Now the sensor has a 2-year battery life. It is local and remote alarm. It has home automations and an open and close door status. Now this will need to be connected to a Zigbee 3.0 hub to get it to work. So the Aqara M2 or the E1 is a hub that would work for this. So there we have the user manual. In here it comes with some adhesive strips to get this installed. And here we have the sensor. Right here there are 2 little notches indicating which ones are going to go together. So let's get it attached to the door and set up in the Aqara app. Here in the Aqara app, I'm going to add an accessory. And scrolling down, here we have sensor. And then I'm going to do the window and door sensor. Connect it to the hub M2. And now I need to long press the button for more than 5 seconds until the light blinks 3 times. Here I'm going to press the little button. All right, there it found the sensor. So this is the garage door. Here it's indicating that it is open. Let's go ahead and close it. And there you can see it is closed. So there they can be a little bit apart. So let's go ahead and attach it to the door. And here let's do a test. There it's closed. Open, closed. That works pretty great. Now let's go ahead and automate the door and window sensor with the T2. So if the door opens, I want it to automatically turn on both of the lights, the one in the garage and the one in the mudroom. So here we create a new automation, and we go to the garage door sensor. So if it opens, then we're going to choose the mudroom T2. And we're going to turn channel 1 on. And then we're going to add another one where we go to the mudroom and we're going to choose channel 2 on as well. Now I'm going to go ahead and add a delay where it automatically turns off those lights. So here we're just going to tap delay, and we're going to add a certain time period. Let's do 10 minutes. And then we're going to go ahead and add each light again, turning it off. And channel 2 off, just like that, after 10 minutes. Now we have created our automations for all of these different devices. Let's go ahead and check them out. So here, as I open the door and go out into the garage, both of the lights automatically turn on, which is just so nice. The kids never have to go out into a dark garage again. So let's try it again from the other side. Here I open the door, garage lights open up. I can go out, get the snack without tripping down the stairs, find the snack, and then head inside, and then after the time period is up from when it opened up, the lights will then turn off, and I never have to worry about touching the light switch again. Now, while doing this, I thought, hey, wouldn't it be cool if when we walked into the mudroom, the lights turned on, and I then quickly set up a new automation with a mudroom zone using my FP2, and I was able to do that. So versatile, and I really love that with a few different devices, I can come up with some really useful automations. Next, I put one of the T1 strips under a cabinet we have in the main hallway of the home. Now this area is used quite a bit, but what I want to do is use this for when the kids come down into the area at night, it automatically illuminates to give a little pathway. And also if I'm going up to the kids' rooms, it's going to turn on some lights so that I don't trip on any toys or anything that may be in the way. So we're going to add, we're going to do an if. So then we're going to use the FP2 as well. And so under the FP2, we're going to choose leave because I have the zone for leaving. Then we're going to choose that the hallway light turns on. Now I also want to make it so it adjusts the brightness. So we're going to have on, and we're going to go back into the hallway, and we're going to set the brightness to 25%, and then tap save. So here we have if we leave the FP2, then it's going to turn on the hallway and set brightness. Now, typically I go and create a separate routine, but for this, I'm just going to add a delay, and then I'm going to turn off the light. So here we're going to add delay, and then we're going to choose 1 minute. So I go in, it turns on the light, and then after 1 minute, we're then going to add the hallway, and we're going to turn off after 1 minute. So here we have everything contained in this one automation. So we're going to go ahead and select save. If we leave, then the hallway is going to turn on. So that's one way to do it, just to make sure that everything is working under one automation. If you're having any problems, you can go ahead and create 2 separate automations to do that. Now this is at the edge of the FP2, so when I leave, then the light will turn on, and then after a certain amount of time, it's going to turn off. So with any other automation, I'm going to watch it for a few days, see how it interacts, and adjust as needed. And so that is what you can do with adding a few different Aqara devices into your home and creating some really awesome automations. Having the Aqara T1 Lightstrip has been really cool. I love how you can do all kinds of different colors, and you can even customize the colors and zones to make your own depending on the different time of year. Now for my light strips, I love being able to not see them, but see them interact, if you know what I mean. So then it's really cool that we have the P1 motion sensor that can automatically trigger those, turning those lights on. I really like having the door and window sensor. It's so great that you can easily put this on, and now we open the door and it's going to turn on and off those lights. The kids usually never turn those on and off. And now when we go out into the garage in the middle of the night or even in the middle of the day, because there's no windows in the garage, it's going to be much more safer that we won't trip down the stairs or anything like that. It's so great that you can easily add a couple devices to your smart home to make them automate and work for you. If you have any further questions about these products, please let me know down in the comments below. And if you'd like to pick one up, I'll leave a link right down in the description below so that you can get the best price available. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.